How to clean and pick up your house with ADHD. I know this is a kind of an odd topic, but it's actually something if you have ADHD, we struggle with a lot. My name is Eric. I am diagnosed with ADHD. Hit the like and subscribe button. I just recently had some roommates that moved in, and because they're moving in, I had to clean and clear out 2 of the rooms in my house. And for anybody with ADHD, we know the difficulty of even just starting a task to finishing a task. And it's a huge struggle. It's a very overwhelming struggle. We can get overwhelmed very easily. We can get just to the point that we're frozen because we can't focus on what we're supposed to do next. So having these roommates move in, I've ended up recording some of it because I thought it was a great experience just to kind of share of the process that I go through when I do clean, and the tricks that I do to be able to actually clean, to actually be able to get a project done. Because even taking Adderall, which I do take for my ADHD, it doesn't always help. So when you are cleaning and when you are trying to take care of things around the house, or you are starting a project, here's what you want to do. First off, though, make sure that you do take your meds. Without your meds, dead in the water. And you know that. You're going to sit there and you're swimming and you are drowning because you're not going to get your thought process started. The other thing is a to-do list of what's most important to least important so that you have a plan on where to start. So in my case, my plan was first I got to clean room 1, then room 2. I mean, that's how easy it was. I mean, room 1, room 2. Now I broke it down even more. Furniture, then all of a sudden the little stuff. Furniture, little stuff. Now, where am I going to put this stuff? Because if I start another project, especially even if you're cleaning, the same thing happens to me. Say you're doing mirrors or you're doing windows. If you go through and you do all the windows in your house, you're going to screw yourself up because next thing you know, you moved into a new room, a different environment, your brain and your thought process drifts, and you don't complete where you're at. You want to go one at a time. And it might seem like, well, why don't you just kill, 3 birds with 1 stone? Well, with ADHD, we got to finish that task first because then we can celebrate and be proud of ourselves because we get that visual stimulation of like, look what I've already done. So you don't want to do that. And at least this is what I don't do because it does help me doing it this way. So now I had them planned together and, well, where do I put this stuff? Well, I'm going to have to put it in my living room. So I work off of piles because I am very, very visual with my ADHD and just in life. So I moved out all of the furniture that was in those rooms. Did room 1, then room 2. Now that the furniture is out, I have all this crap, all this stuff that's in your closets, blankets, trash, all sorts of stuff. So what I did is I had a table and I just started piling the stuff on the table. And there was no rhyme or reason to how I piled the stuff. The whole concept is when I'm doing things like this, even when I'm cleaning, I put it all in a pile so that I don't go from point A to point B and I do just little steps at a time. Trying to complete the whole task is very hard. Even when I'm cleaning and I'm picking up the house, I'll put a pile of this goes into the bedroom, this goes into the bathroom, this goes into the trash. And these are different piles so that next thing you know, I'm not walking out of the trash with some stuff and go, oh, now I'm outside, man, I need to go do this. That's one of the things with ADHD. So if you do little tasks beginning to completion, it's a lot easier because what ended up happening is after I cleared out these 2 rooms, I was able to go back and look and go, oh my God, look what I've done already. These rooms are empty. You get to celebrate that victory. All right, these rooms are empty. Now I have my pile out there. Next step was, okay, I got to vacuum. Because the most important thing that is on my to-do list, I got to get these rooms ready for a roommate. If I have my piles out there, it's still okay that they move in, and as long as those rooms are clean. So vacuumed, shampooed the floors. Boom. Looking back, I'm looking at these rooms and like, hey, I got this done. Look at what I've done so far. And that's me celebrating my victory. Like, look at what I've done so far. Man, I've gotten this done already. Now I start to build up motivation because I'm like, holy crap, I already got this done. I need to do this next. Now I'm excited about it. As soon as my excitement shifts to wanting to do it, it's so much easier now to finish that project. So now I had the pile out there. Now I started separating, okay, what goes into the garage, what goes into trash, what goes into recycling, and let me put together my office area. So I put together my office area, and then the piles went, okay, now what goes into my little office area? And I started taking one big pile and shrunk it down to multiple little piles. Now it's more manageable to me. It's very overwhelming for me to walk up and see this big pile of shit and go, man, what do I do with this? Like, it's overwhelming. It's nerve-wracking to me. But to see these little accomplishable piles, it's like, hey, And what do? I start with the easiest one to the hardest one. Or what I also can do, and I've done this before too, is what's the hardest one to the easiest one, depending. And that's the same even when it goes to cleaning. I mean, I go room by room by room by room by room. And that's the way that I'm able to clean my house. Because if I try to do so many things at the same time, I'm already fighting a battle in my brain. I already have multiple thoughts all over the place that it's very hard for me to go to point A to point B. Just like when I do dishes, I go through the whole house, pick up all the dishes now in the sink. Now the dishes are in the sink, I clean all the dishes, put them in the dishwasher. Now that they're all in the dishwasher, turn on the dishwasher. And then I move on. And I don't let it rent space in my brain or even on my to-do list, I put the dishes away. I come back to that later on. But when it comes to moving, so I had my piles out and I started with the easiest piles first. So I took all the trash, put the trash in the trash. All the recycling, put the recycling in the recycling. Man, I got to celebrate a victory right there. My piles have now lessened. I have my office pile. I have my special, I need to put up in the attic pile. And I have another trash pile, of course, started because as you go through stuff, you decide you want to throw other stuff out. So I have my little trash pile. Now I'm down to 3 piles. Now it's even more manageable for me. Now I worked on my office pile, moved what I didn't need out of there. Office now put away and done. Celebrating that victory. Like, look at this part of the house now is clean too. And I got the 2 rooms over there clean. Now I go to the put away pile. All that starts going into bins. I step back and look and go, look at this is now put away. Now I take that out into the garage. Now I take the trash back out and look at it's clean. That is the easiest way I have found to be able to do it. Because if I take these little tasks, accomplish these little tasks, celebrate these little victories, it turns into bigger victories and bigger victories and bigger victories. And it makes it so much more manageable. One of the biggest things that I found that, especially when it comes to cleaning anything around the house, is trying to start a bunch of little tasks or getting yourself into a different environment that tempts you, even with your medication, to start another task. It's completing that one task until it's done and not focusing on anything else and just paying attention to that and celebrating all the victories. So the countertops are all cleaned off. Congratulations. Man, you wipe down the table, you wipe down all the seats. Awesome. Man, there's 3 things already done. And I'll always stand back and look at it and be like, yeah, that's cool. It's clean. I'm a neat freak, but I also do have trouble cleaning. So if it becomes overwhelming to me, it becomes paralyzing. And when it's paralyzing, then I don't do anything. Now I get trapped in my thoughts and then I become feeling like I'm a failure and then I can't do anything and I'm letting people down and it becomes very, very destructive actually. And that's why I thought it was just an ironic thing that I had to do this because at first it was so overwhelming to me and I'm like, God, how am I going to do this? But it became easier and easier and easier as I went by. And now I have an amazing clean house again. And some of the things even fit into areas that I didn't know that they would. But it really came down to having a plan in place, taking my medication, and then working around what I have up here and making it work for me. Because you're not a victim to what's going on in here. You're a superhero. You're not wearing a cape, but you are a superhero because you're fighting a battle that most can't see. But it was working through this up here. And how do I manipulate it for me? And celebrating those small victories. I mean, when you are cleaning, when you are doing housework, use it to your advantage. You got a gift, you really do. Most people think that this isn't, it's a gift. And another is don't ever run out of your meds because that will always freak you out no matter what. So I hope that maybe you got something out of this. Hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below. In the description box, I have links to all my social medias out there. And I do my best to bridge the gap between a crisis hotline and therapy, all the in between of sharing experiences, tools, and resources to make life a little bit easier. I also have links down below to the mental health Discord. It's peer-to-peer support. Links down below to things on Amazon that I use, like fidget cubes, fidget spinners to help me with my anxiety. Even have a link down below to BetterHelp because it's trial and error to find out what works for you. And what works for me may not work for somebody else, but you know what? That's process of trial and error. Hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below, and remember that you're a BAMF. You're a badass motherfucker. You've made it through 100% of your worst days to make it through 2 today. And you didn't come this far to only come this far. So let's do this together.